I am Baiki Venki, and this is the Working Athlete Podcast. Here, I talk to working athletes from all walks of life and experts from various sports to provide you with inspiration, training tips, time management, and lifestyle advice. If this is something that interests you, please make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future episodes. Today's guest, Gaurav Kumar, is an officer of Indian Army, a Type 1 diabetic runner, and a triathlete. Run for those who cannot was his mantra when he started taking running seriously and eventually got into triathlon. In this episode, we talk about his biggest motivation for staying active, the challenges of being a type 1 diabetic athlete, and how he manages training and racing with his condition. For someone who faced a lot of setbacks in his life, his positive outlook on life is quite inspiring. I hope you enjoy this as much as I did. With that, let us get into my conversation with Gaurav. Hi Gaurav,
Hello.
welcome to the
Hi.
Working Athlete podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Venki.
Um, Gaurav, let your ID on Insta is Kubo Type 1
Yes.
because it is, as I understand it, you are Type 1 diabetic. Um, can you tell me a little bit about what is Type 1 and what is versus what is Type 2 diabetes and stuff?
Yeah. So diabetes are of different types basically. There are some diabetes which happens with age, and then there are certain diabetes which you are born or it happens generally to the adults. So type 2 diabetes generally its onset with happens with age, maybe because of poor lifestyle, maybe because of poor immune system or something. But type 1 is some, and that you can control. The type 2 diabetes you can control generally with diet and oral medication. However, in type 1 diabetes, what happens is the only solution is because the pancreas, which makes insulin, is not working. So, in order to burn that extra sugar which is there in the body, the carbohydrate what you're consuming ultimately results into sugar. So, to burn that, you need to inject insulin after almost every meal. So, whenever you are eating something, you have to regulate it by taking insulin. So type 1 is basically, I would say, in short, is basically insulin dependent. Type 2 can also be insulin dependent if poorly controlled.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that mean that type 1, does that mean that you are born with it, or
No,
how is that?
it happens at slightly younger age. Like people are born with it also, but generally the uh, people who are living with type 1 diabetes are generally younger age, maybe diagnosed at the age of 10, 12, 20, 15, 20. Like I was diagnosed when I was, I think, about 25 or something. So,
Okay.
yeah, 25, 26 when I was there.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what was the scenario like for how did you first get diagnosed?
So that was it was 2011 January, no, 2000, yes, 2011 October, November. I was not, I won't say I was like on a heavier side, but for my height I was slightly, I would say, healthier, happy healthy. I would be about 80 kgs that time. And then in less than 20 days I lost about 14 to 15 kg. It
Wow.
just happened. And I used to get up every day and I used to check and I was like, I've lost 1 kg again. Today again I have lost 1.5. I was not aware what is happening because I was active. I used to play tennis that time, and I was mostly into short distance running, like 4 or 5 kilometer on a treadmill, then do some workout. But I was losing weight regularly, like. So it was December 2011, 2011, and I went for my annual medical. I was again in Patiala that time. So I went for my annual medical, and there I was told, I gave my blood and everything, and I came back. Next day I sent my driver to collect my blood report.
Okay.
And the nursing assistant who was there, he said that tell Gaurav to come again. We may have to check his blood. Then the driver got little suspicious and he was like, "Is everything okay?" Then he was a Khalsa, and Khalsa has got Sardars have got very strong network. So he found out from inside that my sugar levels are very high. Then I was moving from Patiala to Hisar that time. So initially when I was diagnosed, I was thinking that it is like a fever. It has happened, it will get over in like 10-15 days. Which time internet was also not that fast that you Google and you get the result immediately. Plus I was in a small station like Patiala. Network was not there. I Googled it. I thought it is a fever. 5-10 days, I'll take some medication. It will be okay. Then I came to Hisar. I thought by then it should be fine. And meanwhile, I was searching about it. I somehow got the feeling that I may have to live with it. It is not going to go. So I started taking some Ayurvedic medication, like how everybody does. We started shifting, like, only green tea, Karela juice, and all those things I started taking. Thereafter, when I came to Hisar, I was moving to Hisar. Yes, I moved to Hisar then, and I met one of the doctor. He was a endoc. So he immediately told that endocrinologist that you have to live with it. So initially, like, you are young, you have just started, your career, and being diagnosed with something which you have to live was challenging. So I came to Bangalore. I took a leave because I did my college and everything here. I came to Bangalore immediately just to de-stress myself. I don't want to be surrounded in that kind of energy. My friends were here. So I came and I reported in Manipal Hospital, Bangalore. So I met an endocrinologist and I was riding a bike and I went. He took my sugar in that prick, and my sugar that time was about 680. I was not on medication. Yeah,
Wow.
680. So first thing the doctor said, is there someone with you? I said, no one is there. How did you come? I said, I came on a bike. Bola, you may have to call some of your family or friend. I said, what happened? He said that just you have got high sugar and we have to admit you. So 27-year-old, and I thought I'll escape from there and probably I will go to some local clinic. The moment I turned, there was a name written, Major General retired. Some doctor, he was from army. So by my conduct, he understood that, he is some military guy. So he called command hospital immediately that there is one serving individual. He is here and he has got high sugar. He has not reported anywhere till now in army, this thing. Then I understood that I may have to report. I immediately said, sir, I am on leave right now. I'll go back and report. So I went back on leave. I went back and joined my unit. And thereafter, I was immediately referred to R&R Hospital, Delhi, where I was admitted. They kept injecting insulin to regulate my level. First thing was 2-3 days, we have to get his level down because
Right.
this kind of high will damage his organs. So there I was diagnosed, and I was like sad that because that time I knew now there is no looking back.
Yeah.
This is how the path is going to be. So these were the initial diagnosis.
Right. So what by the time that you got diagnosed, you were in army, and when was the time that you started in army?
I joined in 2008. I joined IMA, Dehradun, and then I passed out in December 2009. It was just 2 years of service, and thereafter, I will tell you like what happened because I was not aware that I have diabetes. I used to keep 4 bottles of water next to my bed and 2 t-shirts. Every night I used to feel very thirsty. Thirsty in the sense like, I used to just put the bottle in my mouth and I used to drink so fast that entire t-shirt used to be wet. So the water was like falling because I used to be very thirsty. I used to remove my t-shirt and then change the t-shirt and sleep again. This is how I was living. I thought maybe I'm losing weight, I'm getting dehydrated, I'm working out too much, probably because of that. And one day one guest came to my room and he went to use my washroom. There was like ants everywhere.
Wow.
So he said, how many people are coming very often to your house? Because I was looking fit. And like, yes, a lot of people come. I am a bachelor that time. So he like, somebody has got diabetes. I like, maybe somebody might have used it and because of that. He did not tell me. He knew that I have because he saw the symptoms. I have lost weight and everything. He like, please, take care. Then when I started researching about it, then these were the symptoms. But that time I was not aware.
Right.
It happened for about 2-3 months. I was losing weight, but I am not aware that I have got diabetes. Yes.
Yeah, interesting. But then how did you kind of end up taking up sports. It was you were diagnosed in 2011,
Yes.
but you said you were always active.
Yes.
But then, how was this running and triathlon kind of come into the scene?
Okay, so this is like I will just take you from 2011 to 14 what I did. So 14 I got married. 11 I realized ki now first there is HbA1c, that is a glucose score. So when I got diagnosed, I was 12.8. 12.8 beyond 8 is dangerously high. So 12.8 is beyond dangerous high. So I came back home and he said ki that there is something called honeymoon phase in diabetes, wherein you are controlling things with medication and then ultimately you end up taking insulin. So honeymoon phase goes from 6 months to 1 year max. Maybe if you control very good, it goes up to 2 years also. 2 years on like aim plus. So I started taking Ayurvedic medicine every morning, one karela, kheera and all juice I used to have. Homemade food only, one chapati, proper. I started doing carb counting. I was basically living on like low carb fruits, not banana and all, kheera, guava and all those things. One chapati maybe in a day and little bit of dal. So I was controlling with Ayurvedic medicine and medication. So second, this is a 3 month score, that HbA1c. Second time when I gave blood, my score was down to 5.8.
Oh, that's well in control.
Non-diabetic.
Oh,
Almost non-diabetic, but I
right.
was on medication, so you can't say that I was diabetic. So the doctor said either the first report is wrong or the second report is wrong, because it is humanly not possible. But I knew what I was doing to get it in the limit.
Controlled it, yeah.
But that was something which was not sustainable. I cannot sustain that kind of lifestyle. Like I have taken a 1 month leave just to look after myself. So that time I got into fitness. I was like, at a tennis court right next to my house, and there was a good gym in Hisar. But I was in Hisar that time. So I started playing tennis. And I picked up tennis and I was started playing actually good. Like there was a guy who was in army, we have services team. So he was from services, later he became officer also. So he used to teach me. I used to play every evening 2 hours without fail. Whatever happens, I am in office, I will come back, I am carrying my change, 2 hour tennis, go back to office. So that tennis became addiction. Thereafter, I continued with tennis and walk. No cycling, nothing. Only run maybe 2-3 kilometers for warm up and all. 2014, like parents were like, now you are almost 28, 29, get married now. So every time I am speaking to a girl, first thing I used to tell that I am diabetic.
Right.
You can't start something on a wrong foot.
Exactly.
So this time I spoke to my wife now, and I told, she is like, it's okay. So because her mother is also diabetic, so she understood. But then 2014 I got married, and I was undergoing a course in Mau that time, wherein I was told that my wife is carrying now. We were together. So it was 4 months into pregnancy. I dropped her in Bangalore because I was posted in Suratgarh then. Suratgarh is again a very small military station. No facility, matlab, as such for. So I wanted, my father-in-law is also in army. So he was posted in Bangalore in CMP center. So he had a house. I shifted her here for better medical this thing. I used to come on leave and meet her. So 4 months of pregnancy, I got a call that she wants to meet me. So I took a leave and I came, and she was undergoing treatment in Command Hospital. So there we were told that there is some abnormality which is there in the kid.
Okay.
Yeah. So initial diagnosis was in Mau, and there I decided that now I will not keep her because I want her to be in a big town. So there was some abnormality in the kid. Like, okay, then there are some tests which has to be done. One test was done. The test report took 2 weeks to come out. So after 2 weeks when we went, it was 18th week of pregnancy, and we were told that the sample has not been taken properly. So we have to do one more test. That sample goes to Bombay or something, some civil, some clinic guy came. So this time it was 19th week, and we were told that we'll do one more test. This test take about 1 week for the report to be generated. So we packed our bags, and because we knew that the wife will be admitted and she will be undergoing abortion. We were mentally prepared. So we moved from JP Nagar to Command Hospital, and when we went, they said the report is okay. Kid may not have a big problem, but there might be some problem. Okay. So you continue with the pregnancy. So we continued the pregnancy, went on 8 month first week. 3 weeks prior, I was in Suratgarh again. She was here. She got a call that today they are injecting, that labor will be induced today. So delivery will be today or tomorrow. So I took immediately, nearest airport was Suratgarh, that 10-hour drive. So I drove immediately, parked my car and came to Bangalore. When I was in Jaipur airport, I was told that baby is born. So
Okay.
I could not see that. My wife still taunts me for that. When they are together, they are like, Papa was not there when we were born also. So they are one team. So that time I landed and everything was okay. Baby was normal, 2.55 kg weight. And I reached the airport, say, command hospital about 12 o'clock in the night. Then she was born at 7. Then next day, doctor came with stethoscope. I never knew that stethoscope is such a potent equipment which can diagnose so much. So he kept on my daughter here and he said, ma'am, there is some issue. He immediately called the head of department. And there was some noise which was coming and they said, we have to take her to Narayana Hridayalaya. These were 3 days born. So we took and we were told that there are holes in the heart. They said that we will operate and they gave me all the thing. Now the kid is 3 months and we will operate. So like, okay. I was very sure that, we will get her operated. Narayana Hridayalaya, Dr. Devi Shetty and Dr. Colin James was there. So he was like best of the lot in India as far as heart surgery is concerned. So I went back to my unit and I was there. Then my wife was very this thing, we will take her to some army hospital only. RNR, we went and when I went to RNR for the first time, then I saw the president of India was in RNR. So my wife told, imagine that, these kind of people, they go to RNR and you want to go to some hospital outside. So I met the doctor and I am Kumar Gaurav. The doctor's name was Colonel Gaurav Kumar.
Wow.
So he said, Ki Gaurav, I know Dr. Devi Shetty and all, they are top of the notch. Their success rate is 99.95, mine is 99.85. So
Right.
for that 0.1% you want to go, you go. Because ultimately it's your choice. I like, okay. My wife was, no doubts. We are going to RNR Delhi only. Like, okay, fine. We went there 16th of January, 16th of January 2016. She was 4 months then. 5 kg weight. That was the target. We will at least operate because she should be operatable. She is too small to be 2.5 kg. There is no meat to play actually. So we went there and we got her admitted and then they said, now we have to operate. Because if we don't operate now, the growth will stop. So we got her admitted and thereafter 21st of January she was operated. The operation we required how much time? They said 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Surgery went on for 7 hours. 7 hours plus. So I was just sitting next to OT. Her blood group was B negative, difficult thing to manage again. So at that time, WhatsApp and all we spread in the group and we got a lot of support from the system also. She got the blood. She was operated 7 hours. Doctor came out with no expression. I asked, is surgery went well? He said no. And I lost it then. Like, what happened? His heart is not beating. We have operated, but there is no rhythm in the heart. So we have put up on a pacemaker. Like, now what? Well, she will remain on pacemaker for 2-3 days. Sometimes some tissues get damaged. So the rhythm goes off. So probably in 3 days, it automatically heals up. Otherwise, we'll see what needs to be done. So this is 21st of January. And 24th, 25th, heart is not beating on a pacemaker, external pacemaker.
Wow.
And it's still open. And she was in ICU then. So 25th, when it did not happen, 6 days, then I got a call from doctor. You meet me. And he's a very busy doctor. So calling just to talk, I knew that there is something wrong. So asked me, what do you want your daughter to become? I said, I want her to become a tennis player. He's like, why? Well, because I also wanted to become a tennis player. But I could not because I belong to a family where education was given more importance because we needed to have a secure launch pad to take off. But for her, I can take that risk. So he's like, why not get into good studies, make her a good scientist or something like that? He's like, why are you saying so? He's like, heart may not beat again. She may have to remain on pacemaker for life.
Wow.
So, and then he showed me all the pacemakers that these have got battery of 5 years, 6 years. They are high-end pacemakers. So every 5-6 years, she has to come a small surgery. We just change the battery. I said, no, we will wait. What does the procedure say? The procedure says to wait. We will wait for 2 weeks. I am just giving you advance warning. I'm like, okay. I went to a temple immediately in the hospital campus. and I, cursed like anything. Diabetes happened to me. I lived my life for 20-25 years. So at least I enjoy it. Why? To my kid. So that time, it was 24th, 27, 28, 29th of January. We used to look on the screen, some screen like this. And how the pacemaker work is like zigzag, one white line. White line means the spark has been given, heart beats again. So every beat, there was a spark. And then I was looking at the screen, and one day at 30th of January, I saw when there was no spark. The spark is given only when it is needed. So there was no spark for about 30 seconds. I took out my mobile just to record, and it went off again. Again, the spark started to come because the doctor was in some conference or some surgery. Next time it happened for 3 minutes. So I took out my mobile and recorded. Then I called the doctor and shared a WhatsApp video. Hey, I was not aware that it has come back, it will stay back. So I shared the video, immediately came. He's like, wait. Then he took out the pacemaker and heart was beating again. So this is how the miracle happened. And then it was like 5 months. So from there, we went back to my home. She was discharged after a week again on, I think it was 70th of February 2015. We were discharged and we went back to Suratgarh. So set up the house, and that time I got posted to same next week I got posted to Srinagar. So I went to Srinagar. Srinagar again is like where you can keep your family, but due to weather and all, again I sent them to Bangalore. My in-laws were still here.
Yeah.
So I sent them to Bangalore, and I used to come them and meet them during leave and all. So this is how she was growing. Now I will come to my 2015 September, her first birthday. So 8th of September, her birthday. And because she was operated, so we used to keep two pillows both the sides so that she does not turn. If she turns, there's chances that the stitches might go off.
Right.
So because of that, she was slightly weak, and we were thinking that she is not turning. But later we realized that we went for a diagnosis. We were told that she has hypotonia. Hypotonia is weak muscles. So because of weak muscles, she was not able to turn and all. She was not able to sit down. She was for 1 year. I threw a party, everything was booked, and just 1 week she was, again, due to pure immunity, she was admitted in an ICU in Command Hospital again. So booked everything, like, we wanted to have a good party because 1 year has been a lot of struggle. She was admitted, and I sent invitation, cancelled it again. Then I realized, no, we will not do a party and all as such. We will go to some good orphanage. Not good orphanages or not, but generally we'll go to an orphanage where all girls are there, and we will celebrate her birthday with them. So we called photographer and everyone, went to orphanage near JP Nagar, 40 odd girls. And then I realized how privileged we are. Like, my daughter, she could afford all this because of, we were from this thing. There are kids who are 5-year-old, 4-year-old living in an orphanage. And I shared this thing, whatever best we could do, like fruit, juice, everything. Like, it's on us. Then we came home, and there were people who were at home, and they were giving a sorry look, like, they know young father, diabetes, daughter has got illness, open heart surgery, and all those things. Then I looked at her. It was 8th of September. She was not able to walk. I thought I'll run. And for a half marathon probably that day. And my maximum mileage before that was 5 kilometers. I have not run beyond 5 because I was in Srinagar that time. I used to run on a treadmill only. 5 to 6 kilometers. Weekend I used to do 7-8 kilometers. So I came, Sarjapura Decathlon was the start point, and I registered for the next day. 8th was, I think, Friday, 10th was Saturday, Sunday. So I said next half marathon in Bangalore. So it was, Google showed this. I registered. And then when I reached, I was wearing a long short, like basketball shorts, a t-shirt, and a normal shoe. And when I reached, everybody's warming up, and they are all in jerseys and names written, and they are talking about Boston qualifier and all those things. And I didn't want to even do warm up there. It's like, I will look, everybody will laugh at me. There are 70 or 80 odd people. So I just warmed up in a corner, thoda sa, and then I started. I stay with the crowd. A 5 kilometer I can do. I have to do it 4 times. That is half marathon for me. So I started running with the crowd. And 5 to 6 kilometers into the race, 3 kilometers into the race, and I was like, why everybody's running so slow? I can run much faster. I will just overtake the group. Overtook 8 to 9 kilometers. I am ahead. Nobody is behind, and I could not see anyone. So after about 9.5, I saw first guy coming back. Like one guy beyond that 500 meter, another guy, and uske baad about 500 meter U-turn. I can see one guy sipping water, and I was fourth. So I thought, I will catch hold of him. I will finish on podium in my first race only. But that guy was hydrating. He was like, carrying gels and all. And I didn't know anything. I was like running a thick sole wala shoes. So he used to drink water, taking orange and everything. I was just running. 17 kilometer, I got cramped. I knew that there's nobody behind me, and I finished it and under about 100 minutes. I think that was my target. So first half.
First half,
100 minutes. And I was like surprised. Well, I was very light. I was 62 kilo that time because I still not started taking insulin, was like not regular. So if I'm not taking insulin, I'm not gaining weight. My sugar was high, but I was taking very poor care of that because all of this thing was happening. I was not focusing on myself.
Right.
So this was my first half marathon. And then 3 days I could not walk because I just came home and I am sitting. I am not able to. In 4th day, I just went for a jog, recovered and stretched. Then I was feeling better. So this all started because of my daughter. Yeah.
Okay, so that was your first half marathon, right?
Yeah.
And then, so how did running kind of continue from there?
And now I got a kida of it.
Yeah.
Like, you can, without practice, I am coming fourth and this was a very low school, 50, 60 odd people only. And I went to Srinagar. Now this time I took it seriously. From 5 became 10 and weekends became about 8 to 12 on outside because every day used to be cold and all. So running on treadmill, if Sunday, late start, maybe 11:30, 12 in the afternoon, because we used to get only Sundays half day. Rest every day was working. So I used to run there and I got my wife and daughter there in the summers. You can keep them. So they were with me for 4-5 months. So I started training. I used to plan my leave. Every leave for 1 month I used to come. I used to run 2 half. Aate ke saath 1, then recover for 3-4 days before going again 1. So but half marathon was like my capacity. So that became a kida. Every time coming to Bangalore, 2 half marathons or minimum 1 I have to do. So this is how I got into running.
So basically, you wanted to kind of start running for your daughter.
For my daughter, because my first hashtag also I wrote was run for those who can't. So this was like my first this thing. So I used to tag her every time and just keep running. And we have a lot of, if you go to places like this, my orphanages, some special child care, you will understand how privileged we are. Actually, I felt when I was diagnosed with diabetes also, I still remember 2011 R&R hospital. There was a very small girl, maybe 4-5 years, curly hair and very fair, very good looking girl. मैंने उसको बुलाया, I called her कि come here. She did not respond. She was diabetic also. So her father was next to me. What happened? The Jawan, I like, what happened? Like she has removed her this thing. She was, she could not hear also. Then I realized कि at least I have done 25, 26 years. I ate my quota of gulab jamun. I ate my quota of fruit. I enjoyed my quota of life.
Right.
ठीक है? What about her? 4-year-old taking 5 insulin injections every day and still pushing it. Then I like we are actually, in society we have too many problems. But when you meet these kind of people, then you realize that our problems are actually not that big. Right. So I started for her and then the journey continued from there on.
Right. Yes. The Kida has, I mean, although they were, the hashtag makes so much sense. Right?
Yes.
Run for those who cannot.
Yes.
That became your impetus and then it became your passion.
Yes.
And now it continues.
It continued. That is the important thing.
Right.
Generally, it happens and it dies off soon.
Right.
Yes.
So now, what is your it was first half marathon was pretty epic.
Yeah.
But how did you get into what was your first marathon?
First marathon was it is again a story that happened in Tata Mumbai Marathon. I went as an unregistered athlete. My aim was to just, run with the crowd. So 1 week prior to Tata Mumbai, I was cycling with, I think you were not there. Milam was there. Shankar was there. So they were there and everybody is talking about Tata Mumbai next week. Everybody looks like Bombay. Everybody is going to Tata Mumbai. There's one WhatsApp group I am part of. Everybody is talking Tata. I'm like, why so much of Kida, Tata Mumbai Marathon? Aisa, what is there? So that day evening, I was walking every evening. Generally, if I'm not running, I go for at least 5 to 6 kilometer walk. So I was walking and I was speaking to one of my friends, ki you are going, why there is so much of hype of it? He said ki there is one guy, he has a running babe, but he is not running. You want to run? I said, but pro cam and all, there's issues. He said, or what I will do is I'll come with you. When everybody takes off, I will not start from the start point. I just want to run with the crowd. I want to feel that energy. I have never practiced. My longest run was 30 kilometers. That was in 2021 in Hennur Ultra, Bamboo Ultra. उसके पहले I've never run beyond 21 also. उसमें I ran, I again finished in, out of 120 people, I finished in 10th or 11th. So decent running, but that was like slushy route and all. Bamboo Ultra. It was like raining for 3 days.
Yeah.
So
Trail marathon.
trail ultra like 30 km. So I went, he said, ki just check flights. You come with me. I am running. So I booked a guest room. I got a guest room in Kolaba. And then Kolaba's start point is just 4 kilometers. And then he said, you take the bib and don't run with them. Merge with the group and then keep running. I like, okay, I'll do that. I went, the crowd was massive, 15,000. I somehow managed to enter inside. And aim was finish.
Right.
Because I want to do a full Ironman this year. Or maybe next year beginning. For that, you have to do a 42 kilometer with tired legs. If I have not done with fresh leg, I am not confident of registering. So I thought I will do it so that, that tick is done. And what else better than doing with Mumbai? So I ran and I joined the 345 train, which was going like 345, 520, 530 pace they'll maintain, easy for me. I have done long 16, 18 kilometer run with that pace. So I will do 16. My funda is same. Multiply by the total distance, divide by the maximum what you have run. So I have to do it 2.2 times. So I will do 16, then I will do 16 again, then only 4-5 that I have done regularly. So that is how I started. And 4 kilometer in the race. And I like again same, why everybody is running so slow. So I thought I will overtake the group and I will make sure that they don't overtake me at least till first 60% of the race. So I continued, U-turn, I saw 1 hour 41 minutes. And I was not tired. Till then I have not even touched my zone 4. I was running zone 3. Continuous 445, like static. I got the rhythm. Even on ceiling when you are climbing at about 6:30 in the morning, like sun is coming out. And I was like climbing, it's going up and still my heartbeat is not going. Like rhythm is there. I checked my sugar that day, it was 170. So generally in range, need not to eat anything and took a U-turn and I realized ki 21 to 27 is where the game is. I have run this much. Now body will start getting fatigued. 28 kilometer. My friend, he is also type 1 diabetic. He has done a Mumbai marathon, like has taken some time. So he told me marathon starts at 28 because that is the time when you start, fatigue starts settling in, brain starts to give up. So I like 28 to 32. I will keep going. I will not look at the watch. I will not look. I'm just running at a pace with the rhythm which I had found. And 30 kilometer I did in about 2:26. Now I am thinking, now I have only 12 kilometer to do. I have about 1 hour 6 minutes, 1 hour 36 minutes from my original target, team plus target. 4 hours also I would have been happy. Now it is in range. I just have to keep pushing 530 ka pace, 530 ka pace every kilometer. And the more I save, the more I have for the reserve I am creating for myself. So I kept doing and 5:10, 5:05 pace has dropped. It was not that is what sometimes you set the goal, no, it does to you.
Right.
Because if there been no watch, I would have probably kept pushing at the same pace. But then wrong knowledge at that time, like no, now your body is gone. So I kept pushing and I was just on salt tabs. So every 1 hour I was taking 1 salt tabs, that's all. And no gel, and water is like Bisleri, they are giving small bottles, keep sipping and keep drinking, going. 32 kilometer, 36 was like same 5:05, 5:10. 36, there is a steep climb. Steep climb, and I saw everybody because that time 10K, 5K, all are there. So you don't know, you have to see that my bib number is not there. So I'm just running with the crowd. There is not even one photograph of mine in Tata Mumbai Marathon because there's no bib. So I'm just running. And thereafter 36 kilometer, I thought, if this I am able to negotiate under 6 also, I am up for 325 for sure. 325 is a very good time for my first. I would have I would have had a can of beer at the finish point only. I would have been that happy. So that when I got over, I saw 5:30 exact. And like this is the worst time I catered for, and I have managed within that. Now everything is flat and down. So 40th kilometer in the race, and I was about 17 minutes left for 3:30, 17 or 16. So I thought I'll push now. 3:25 is the revised target. I pushed and I got a cramp. 2 kilometer in the race, like no, I am not pushing now because I don't want to fall here and just kept a rhythm, and 5:20, I think 3:28 I was able to finish first. And that was because I didn't even run. And my friend who finished in 3 hours 13 minutes, who took me there, he was more happy for me. Like he did 3:10 and he was like, how can you do it? You are practicing, but I'm not seeing it on Strava. I like, no, I'm not practicing. I'm just the energy in the Mumbai, it takes
Right.
you there. Well, like, and when I came back, I said, "Kid, this time I'm running with a bib. No bib. Though the data is there on Strava and Garmin. I got a medal also. But there is nothing like registering and going there at least 2 days. I reached on Saturday evening. Sunday I ran. Sunday afternoon I had a flight, and I came back Sunday evening. So
But 3:28 for your first marathon.
yes.
That is
Yeah, even I am still taking time. Still, I go on Strava, I check my speed and try to how it happened. But it's the energy of the city and the organizer. It takes it to a new level. I like next time if I told everyone, I told Shankar also, ki India, if you have to do something, Tata Mumbai Marathon, you must go.
Yeah.
I told you also. The energy will if you have done 10. Energy will take you to 25. That is the kind of energy. New Delhi Marathon I missed because it was with I was registered for an event in Odisha that time. It was on 25th. New Delhi was on 26th. But all those people who went to New Delhi, they again reduced their time from that. My friend who did Mumbai 3:13, he did New Delhi 3:4. So he is now a Boston qualifier. So that is a flat route. Mumbai has got little up and down.
nice.
But here in flat, if you find the rhythm, just stay with it. Yes.
No, I remember you selling me the, start training for marathon. Boss, I'm not even a runner.
No, the issue is now cycling requires little time. You have to prepare your bike, you have to prepare your helmet. Something goes missing, आज tube छूट गया, आज something you forget. Sometimes you forget water bottle. Running is easy. Put on your shoe, go. And then you are like, when there is less time, I have to go to office at 8:30 and I get a call like, we are going for a ride. Like, no, I better go for a short run. Run half an hour and your day is starting on a good note. Yeah.
True. So that was your first marathon.
Yes.
No, but how did you started running back in 2015, 16 with that thought of run for those who cannot, right? But how did this swimming and cycling come into the picture and became a triathlon? Man?
Okay, so swimming again, there is story. I was in academy that time, dead sinker. Somebody throw me in the pool and I am in. So in first term, you have to do a 10-meter jump. Just in first week of the training. So first or second week of the training. So it's like fun. So everybody is like just going jumping. And I jumped. Now when death is very close to you, you start thinking of people who are, close to you. So I jumped. You are 10, 12 feet because of the gravity you have gone inside. It takes about 3 seconds. But then there is a collage in the brain. Father, mother, brother, sister, everybody, college friends, school friends. 3 seconds. Everything came back. I thought I'm not coming out because whatever I'm doing, I think I'm going down. So somebody came, held my trunk, got me out. Like, good, go out now. That is just to remove the fear. So that is I got into swimming. So first term we did 50 meters mandatory, you have to pass. So they teach you. But aim is just to cross 50 meters. There's no focus on technique and all. Technique and all you learn when you are a child.
Right.
So there it's just cross. So we are like, keep your neck out, keep doing this and do 50 meters. Second term I did 50 again. Third term I could do 150 meters. 150 is like higher test. With no energy, nothing, but you are just pushing it like that. So that is how I learned swimming. Now swimming for triathlon started in 2020. I was a swimmer like to 200 meters. And I am like, okay. I came to MEG here in Bangalore and there lockdown, everything is closed.
Right.
Now one of my friend has done Ironman, Sri Lanka pehle, and then he went to some other places also. So he is posting every time on the group. He's again my army friend. So I also want to do triathlon now because this is like, you post and everybody is like, it is something tough.
Yeah.
People do. So I thought, I will get into triathlon now. So I bought a hybrid bike when I was coming from Hisar to posting to Bangalore. It was a Scott hybrid, some 35K invested. And it took me about 20 round of shop. I used to go every time, look at the bike, 35K, it's expensive. How do I? That time, that is how, like, now from 35K cycle to 45K pedal, it has been a journey. So, so I went 10 times, like some discount, little bit, little bit. Karte, he gave me a bike rack. Yeah, I'll give you 36K for a bike and a bike rack. So 40K, I got the deal done. I posted and I started cycling 15 kilometer, and I was very happy. So I came, did a 30-kilometer ride one day. Started from home, Whitefield. From Alsur, I started Whitefield and go back some short loop, 30 kilometer. Happy. 2 days not able to walk again. No tennis also again in the evening. And then one day I decided I will do a long ride, 50 kilometer. So I did a 50 airport solo and back. Like good 50 again. Pain was less, but manageable. Then one friend was here again posted. He said, we'll do a 100 km right now. He had a Firefox road bike, Mistral. So he is going ahead and I am like always behind him. I took 4 hours, 25 minutes for 100 km on hybrid. We did that outer loop, that Kormangla loop. You remember that from Hoskote?
Right.
So no, Devanhalli say you take a right and that which joins Hoskote.
Correct.
That
correct.
route I did.
Yeah, yeah.
100 kilometers.
Via Narsapura.
Yeah. That route I did. And then 3 days, again, no. Here I'm like, walking like a duck, playing tennis in the evening. Then I asked sir, why were you moving so fast? He's like, it's a road bike. It goes fast. So immediately started searching road bike. So got one Ridley Damascus 1, second hand.
Right.
So some 45K MRP, he said, I'll give you for 36 because the bike was packed in the box. It was of a college student who placed the order, but when the order was delivered, it was a lockdown. So parents said, come home.
Right.
So he was at home for 1 year. Bike is in Bangalore. So he posted, I said, I'll buy it. Now what happened? I bought an extra small, 47 centimeter. I was not aware about the sizing and all. So I sold my Scott for 35, bought this for 35. Now I am also moving fast, but I started having backache. So I went to Crankmeister. Then he said, it is not your bike. Now that thing has, now again I bought a bike. Again, it is not. I was doing 27, 28 average speed easily. Not easily, but that I was happy. That time we never used to see average speed. Used to see top speed. Sir, what is your top speed? Today I did 52. Sir, I did 54. That is how distance was there. So now the cycling started. I met Kiran, cycle station, and Shankar. They were going for a BBCH ITT. My bike was punctured, no tube, no. I was standing near that flyover. So he came and he's like, I stopped. Shankar and Kiran were there, like getting late. And like, you take the tube, you take the pump, and we are going for a team time trial.
That's how you met them.
That's how I met them. Then I took the number, I will return your pump. And then I went to his place and I told, Abhi tak to ye tha 35-40K is expensive bike. So I told Kiran I want to buy a bike. He said, I have a bike store and what is your budget like? I said, 50K. I like 50K. And I was thinking I'm taking like not too much. 50K I'm investing in a bike and all. Then Kiran is like, he did not want to tell me. He said, I will get you a deal major when the bike is there. I will get you something. I like, okay. Now, every time any update, because now I knew that my bike is short and I'm getting injured. I want to change the bike. So I went to Shah Bike. There was one carbon bike, Scott again, 52 centimeter. And it had small scratch near the rear cassette area, frame pe. So he said, I'll give you for 115. I'm like, okay. I called Kiran, again, advisor, and Leander was there that time. So I called Leander. Leander was again a friend of a friend. So he said, no, buy from Kiran. So now Kiran is thinking from 50, he has reached 115. So now he's coming in my range. So I set up, and that time there was some government scheme going on because of the lockdown and all, some LTC scheme that, you will get 33% cash back if you are buying things which is more than, say, 12% of GST. So I bought a bike and like, if I'm investing 1.8, I'm getting 60K back. So I'm basically putting 120, I'm getting 40 for my old bike. So I'm putting 80 only, I'll buy it. So I bought it from him, and now Kiran say, oh, that thing started. Fir dheere dheere upgrade. Now buy wheels, now buy tires. So wheel I bought again 1 lakh. My wife is like, you do whatever you want. Till the time you are not disturbing us on Sunday morning, you do whatever. So this is how this started. Now cycling is going on, but pools are still closed. So I told my boss here in MEG, sir, I want to swim. The pool was open only for me. It was December. He's like, you go and swim.
Right.
Now I entered no swimming for about 2-3 odd years. I entered the pool 30 meters and I am not going further. And then I have already made announcements. I am doing Ironman next year. I jumped in the water 30 meters and I am done.
Not able to move.
Holding the wall and thinking अब क्या होगा. Now respect and everything is gone. People will make, because वही है कि like, you have made so much of announcement. I like, no, I will do 50. I did one day 50. Second day, 1 week was 50 only. Go 50, take rest, come back 50, 50. Next week I made it 100. Third week I made 200. Fourth week I like, this way I'm progressing. I will do Ironman distance in some 2 years time. So I decided this time I will, till the time my legs and hands say कि भाई अब नहीं होगा, I will keep pushing. So I found a rhythm again. I did 2.5 kilometers non-stop
Wow.
for the first time. Yeah, Sunday I went. Pool was empty. One loop, two loop. ऐसे करके I kept doing 2.5, and I took a lot of time, like 1 hour plus. Confident. Went again to the tennis court. Sir, now I can do it. I have registered 2.5, 21 I have run multiple times. And rides I was doing like with these guys about 80, 90, 100 was not a pain. And like now I will do it. So this is how swimming started. And then I still am very bad swimmer. I do breaststroke and I'm a very slow swimmer. I didn't go also. I took about 45 minutes for 1.9. People who are doing freestyle, they were able to do in 40. My target was to learn, but the problem in swimming, you move 1 kilometer and when I see come back like 2 kilometer only in say 45 minutes. So if I have a walk also, I would move faster. I want to cover distance. I always want to cover distance. Got into cycling, why? Because you are covering
more mileage in faster time.
faster time. So this is how this thing started.
So now let's talk about Goa 70.3. I saw you there. I was spectator.
Yes.
Looking at and I think those were really tough conditions.
Yeah.
The route, the humidity, the heat, and everything.
Absolutely.
So how was your race? That was your first 70.3?
No, that was my second 70. I did one in Dhanushkodi prior to that, but that converted into duathlon. They called off the swimming leg because they did not get clearance, but that was a tougher condition.
Okay.
Goa was comparatively easy because there was some tree cover and all. Dhanushkodi is a one stretch of about 30 kilometers. One side is Arabian Ocean, one side is Bay of Bengal, and there is one road.
Wow.
I mean, it's a very scenic road if it is not windy. Otherwise, the wind is at about 40-45 kmph.
Ooh.
Yeah. So when we are going to deposit our bike, we could not hang our bike because it's very windy. So the bike is like moving everywhere. So I registered for that. That was the ITF event, Indian Triathlon Federation. So I was not doing any brick workout and prior to that. I was just one event at a time. Morning I will do cycling, evening I'll do walk or run. Once or twice in a week I'll go for swim. So swim got cancelled and I reached there 2 days in advance and did a short recce and all, and I like flat route and I'll be able to do reasonably okay. At that time I was averaging about 31-32 kmph for a 100 km ride. So I was confident that I'll do well in cycling. Now what happened, morning they said there is no swimming. So it will be 5 km run followed by 90 km cycling, then 20 km run again. So when I ran, my HR went super high.
Okay.
And I came and sat down and it was putting on my shoes and immediately came into transition area. I did 5 km in about 24 minutes. And then I started cycling. I was cruising very good, 32-33 kmph for the first lap of about 18 kilometers or 20 kilometers. 3-4 laps we had to do. Now HR is still up and it is not coming down. And my sugar that day was on a higher note. Like one day prior, my sugar was 276. Stress and all builds up, then the sugar goes dangerously up. So I could not consume anything. I was just on water and all. So I did my cycling in about 3 hours, 5 minutes. So I averaged about 20. Flat route, elevation gain for 90 kilometer ride was about 12 meters. So that is the flat it was.
Yeah.
So, and since we train in Bangalore, riding in flat is a different game because you need to keep your cadence up. Here you get time to recover. You put effort and then you recover. Here is no recovery. You recover, you stop. So I then the run leg started and I saw like services guys were again there. They're strong athletes. So vomiting, people are vomiting and all those things. It was about 12 o'clock, temperature 35. And that time they opened the road for traffic also. So I took some 6 hours, 20 minutes. I jogged for about 2 hours, 35 minutes to complete my this thing.
Right.
half,
Marathon. Yeah.
and reasonably 6 hour 20 minutes. I was like happy, finish ho gaya. Now I can register for some good triathlon. Then I registered for Goa. Goa was second. Uske pehle I did one short distance in BMF triathlon यहाँ पे again. So Goa, I was like, I did went 5 days in advance, got acclimatized. Every morning I used to go for swim, did the run loop twice, cycling loop twice or thrice. So I knew what's coming. So when this thing started, they started late, as you are aware that it's supposed to start at 7, started at about 7:30, 7:45. So I swim. My target was 45 minutes. I am happy. 45 minutes exact. I came out, but the transition was about 8 minutes because it took a lot of time for me. People who I could not cut in swim, I should have cut them in by run from the transition.
Right.
So I went there, took out my cycle. First lap again I did in 32, 33 I was clocking, and then I took a U-turn and I carried some homemade nutrition only. I took one before the swim and some laddu and all I make of oats and everything, dry fruits. I don't know how much carbs it is giving, but it gives me positive vibes. That you are eating, everybody is eating, I am also eating. I am not different. But the second dose I took and I realized that I am done. It has gone up and I am not carrying my insulin. Because in those conditions, if you are carrying insulin also, it is not going to be effective because of temperatures. So I like finish karna hai isko. But trust me, people like you, known faces were there everywhere. My wife, my in-laws, my daughter was at their every station. I could see them. I am coming and taking U-turn. I could see you were there. Rushit was there. I think Hemings was there. So these are the people whom I know.
Right.
So Dipankar was also there. I like they are all are cheering. So that energy again, same like Mumbai.
Yeah.
If you are with the positive set of people, so I pushed. And my target was to do it 2:45 for cycling, and I was strong that time. मुझे लग रहा था I will be able to do a decent power. And 2:45, 2:50 is what I targeted. Again, because of nutrition, I goofed it up and took 2:55, I think, for cycling. Still pretty okay. 31 kmph I clocked. Came out, and now run leg started. It was about 10:30, 11:30 something.
Right.
And then the moment I came out of transition, I realized it is not going to be easy. HR 175, 176, crossing 530 speed, which is bare minimum. That is my zone 4 speed. And heart rate is not coming down. Luckily, again, my same friend who got us into triathlon, he is Surinder Malik. So he said, keep throwing water and hydrate at every station. He was running his first loop and I was starting. So he said, Gaurav, keep drinking water. When I went and they were throwing water on your face every time, I like, no, my shoe will get wet. But by the time the water came off, I saw my HR dropped.
Right.
HR dropped, like body cooled down. And then I saw all this front load runners. They are all carrying their ice, this thing, sponge.
The sponges, yeah.
I will do it. Never done it. But then it was effective. I was throwing water everywhere. Again, no nutrition for the whole route. 6 hours, 6 minutes I took. Run leg was off because I thought I will do a sub 2. And I took about 2 hours, 11 minutes. And that is also happened because when I was calculating in my mind, my target was sub 6. Achievable. Swim, I was on time. Cycling was also on time. Transition, I did not calculate that 8 minutes. So I went slightly off. And then when I did my first loop of run, I did 1 hour, 25 minutes for 14 kilometers. I can't do now. Legs are nothing to offer. So I just keep jogging. Now I realize that sub 6 is not possible. It is gone. Right. So I anyway demoralized. I said, whatever best I can do, I will do. So I did 6 hours, 6 minutes. But in last 2 kilometers, there was a Red Bull can and everything. I like, ab yahan se, even if I crawl, I'll finish. I want to eat something now. So I took one sip of Red Bull and then I realized how privileged are the people who are eating and running. And like, one small 100 ml Red Bull gave me actually wings. I was like, if I will keep drinking, then, I can push much better. Then I started, came back and I'll be on CGM now. I will try to zero down my nutrition. But whatever you do, that stress thing, there are something which are controllables. So controllables is what your diet, your sleep and everything. But stress is not controllable. However good you are prepared, one day before the race, you will undergo that stress attack. Like for Goa, 76, my fasting sugar was. At 4 o'clock I got up. 76, very good day to start. So I could consume something. And then it went off the chart and then it happened. But it's like 6:06 is a good time for, I think, what I started.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And in those conditions, especially.
Yeah.
It's
Because
really
all my friends who did Dubai and all, they all dropped by about 20 minutes. And almost of them, not more than 80% of them, none of them could match the same time what they got in Dubai. He told me if 6 here is 5:45 easily in Dubai.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I like next is Dubai, but Dubai did not happen this year.
But interesting, right? The how do you for these events? How do you plan your nutrition? Because you have to take care of that your sugar levels are in control.
Yes, it.
It should not go too high. It should not go too low.
Yes.
So how do you manage that?
That is what with like it takes time, like 6 to 7 years into the sports now. 2015. See, in army we are like 2008 onwards. I'm running. I will not say I've started running 2015, but long distance like half marathon. Army maximum running is 11 to 12 kilometers, or there are route marches where you do 40 kilometers, but you are doing with a battle load and everything. So I won't say that is running. That is like 4 hours, 4 hours 30 minutes you are taking for 40 kilometers, but that is with a load. So mentally, that endurance was there always. Now for this 2015-16 half marathon also no nutrition is not very important. One event and you can just push it off.
Right.
Like, you start with something, you check your sugar and then you generally know. Because I'm not taking any electrolytes or anything as such.
Yeah.
But for this thing, I started for Goa, I took a CGM, that continuous glucose monitor.
Right.
And I wanted to zero down. But still I could not figure out. Sometime when the mood is good and hormones are working fine and you are taking gel and it is going. Sometimes it just goes off. It's like, you are taking same food, same liquid, same electrolyte, but it is going like, it's not working that day. So somehow I have not been able to figure out till now.
Right.
So I just go empty stomach. All my friends also told me, don't do it because for longer term it will have impact. Because when I did go, I took, I think, a week time for my sugar levels to come back to normal.
Wow.
6 days I was, whatever I'm eating, drinking, sleeping, and my sugar is always, it used to be 100. Fasting, I am keeping it between 80 to 100. It goes to 170, 180, sometimes 250. Same food, same dose of insulin, but still it is going. So it takes some time. But for this time, I have again registered for Goa, and I will be on CGM for about 3 months. And I will zero down this time because I want to be competing with the same amount of nutrition. It should not be that, you are going empty stomach. Empty stomach, even for Mumbai Marathon, I did not take anything. And I could see people like after they are carrying their gels here, and I have like nothing. Good that I did not have to carry also anything. Just 3 salt tabs I kept. 1 salt tab every 10 kilometer was the goal. So I started 10 kilometer, 1 salt tab. And that also is, I don't know how it works, but it gives me, there is no sugar in it. And I am replenishing at least one component of the body, so I'm not getting cramp. So nutrition has been a challenge, and I think it will remain for some time because I am in touch with some of the European athletes. They are also type 1 diabetic. So he did, last year he did, he's 52-year-old, and he did world championship in Ironman in some 4 hours, 32 minutes.
Wow.
So I spoke to him, I asked him, what is your nutrition plan? But the problem with diabetes is like in everybody, nutrition plan is different.
Right.
Because everybody's pancreas is functioning in a different way. So that has been a challenge. Probably, again, I have ordered 3-4 CGMs. I will be able to zero down. Running, I think gel goes well. But for cycling, it has not worked for me till now.
Okay.
So I have somehow come down ki homemade nutrition. Maybe make a laddu with some dates, a lot of dry fruits, some oats. Maybe not giving same amount of carbohydrate, maybe 40 gram what you get in 40 to 45 gram you get in one gel. Maybe I'm getting 20 gram, but at least I'm getting something.
Right.
And probably I will next time onwards, I'll carry insulin. It is not difficult. You just take out a pen, inject. If you see it is high. Now there are CGMs which has got Bluetooth connectivity also. So when you're riding, you can see it on your garment.
Right.
What's your sugar level right now? So that kind of tracking I will do for this time. Let's see if how it stays in range, how I perform.
Right.
Yeah.
So there are, like you mentioned, European athletes are there, and there is this Novo Nordisk team, cycling team.
Yes.
Who are all type 1 diabetic athletes.
Yes.
So, I mean, these guys are doing something right in
Yes,
terms
yes,
of
absolutely, absolutely.
nutrition,
Yeah,
because they do long
yes,
races,
yes,
right? So maybe you can
yes, I
take some
definitely.
tips from
Yeah, this guy what I'm speaking is also part of Novo Nordisk team.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
So he has sent me, but somehow, I tried, and once I fail, now I don't want to retry the same thing again.
Hmm.
So I want to start something from scratch. Because I want to make something of my own.
Hmm.
Because if you follow somebody's diet plan, it may not suit you. But if I have done my own hit and trial, I will definitely reach somewhere.
Right.
So that is again a good point. Like, when I was diagnosed with diabetes, I started Googling about it, like, searching how things are. You start losing your sight, your feet and all start getting damaged, internal organs are getting targeted. So it was depressing,
Hmm.
very depressing. Like, you won't believe I used to sit in a room and just cry. Why?
Right. Yeah.
Why? It is
Yeah.
painful.
Yeah.
Like, childhood has not been very good, belongs to I would say, upper lower class limit.
Hmm.
It was not lower middle class, it was slightly upper lower class limit. This thing, everything was like, you have to be like weight. But one thing I have learned from my upbringing is like, my family, you may have less but have top class. If you have, there is no point having 5 shoes. Buy one, but it should be good. So I started with that, and then I started researching about what people have achieved with diabetes.
Hmm.
Then this in 2015-16, I researched about this Novo Nordisk. They were into that. Then started people searching celebrities with type 1 diabetes. So Nick Jonas and all, they are all living with type 1 diabetes. There's a world number top 5 player of tennis, Zverev something. He's also type 1 diabetic. So I like people are achieving.
Yeah.
It is not end of the life. Probably in India that awareness is not much. Okay, but in European countries there are the technology is there, the support system is there. So I start now I can also achieve.
Right.
So I checked one guy, he is from Mumbai, Harsh, again a type 1 diabetic. So I got in touch with him through Instagram. He's also Harsh type 1, karke his ID was there, T1D. So I asked on YouTube, I saw he had done Ironman, some Dubai, some 755 or something. That is how the Ironman one friend has done, and this diabetic guy had done, and like I will also do it.
Right.
Then I started the fastest marathon of Indian who has done with type 1 diabetes. Again, same guy, some 5 hours, like I will do 3:30. Then again I started by cycling. What is that? Then I entered the game. I like now, at least here I can be some level of recognition will be there. And I aim was when you see these young kids, I get so many calls. They see my page and they're like, how do you do it? There are people, young kids who are scared of wearing a CGM. When they go to school, people are, what is this? What? And then there is a taboo, like,
Yeah.
he has to take insulin, and he doesn't want to go. They are hiding it with an Adidas wristband. I said, there is nothing to hide. It is not something which is your fault. It has happened to you.
Right.
Type 2, if you have, yeah, acceptable. Poor lifestyle, not taking care of yourself, acceptable. Type 1 is not. It is autoimmune disorder. So I spoke to the lot of young kids, and I like, they see my page, their parents show, kids see, it is not end. And this is how, like, when you are in the journey to show people, you cannot pull back.
Right.
Like, you have made so much of commitment, and then they're like, iska bhi ho gaya. So I don't want to get that. Maybe I will get slower, but I have decided to stay in the game. And how I stay in the game, I keep buying new equipment. Maybe one small t-shirt I'll buy just to, like, this t-shirt I'll go on. Some motivation should be there.
Right.
If you are bored of one equipment, then they like, feel say, why again put on the same shoe? Buy a new colorful shoe. Next day you'll feel like, let's explore it.
Yeah.
So like every time, 3 months I buy one pair of shoe. Maybe not very expensive, 3,000-4,000 only, but one new shoe, I will use it for walk. But that should keep me going out. It should not stay at home.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I hope that you would, figure out the nutrition and all that, soon. Because, like you said, it is, you might have a template from whoever is there.
Yes.
But it has to be kind of individualized for yourself, for
Yeah.
your, your conditions and everything, right? The foods you are used to,
Yes.
and everything also kind of come into the picture.
Yes.
So I hope you nail that. So what next for you?
So recently I did a event in Odisha, not very good. Again, I got IT band and I almost walked. Took about 7 hours for a half distance this time,
Okay.
but very humid conditions. So Next, I have registered for again Goa, which is on 8th of October. This India, mein, if I am there to Goa and Tata Mumbai and New Delhi Marathon. These are the three events which I must attend if I am there. And now since I am going to Patiala, so connectivity wise, Delhi is close by. Now for these distances, I have to travel. So and apart from that, just small event just to keep system in check. I'll keep registering, but these three events I will be doing this year, and probably if things permit, I will do a full distance this year either in Sweden or next year in Germany. But
Okay.
one full distance has to be done in next 1.5 years. Yeah.
Okay. I wish you all the very best for that.
Thank you.
And your journey has been inspiring, and I'm sure it will inspire a lot many people that are dealing with the type 1 diabetes, and maybe it will help them deal with that
Absolutely.
condition as well.
Yes.
So all the very best.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking the time and spending the time.
It has been a pleasure.
All right.
ठीक है चलो. Thank you.
So,
चलो good.
that was my conversation with Gaurav. I hope you enjoyed that. If you are enjoying these podcasts and are finding them useful, please consider supporting the podcast by subscribing to the channel on YouTube as well as on your favorite podcasting app. It really helps. Thanks again for your continuous support. See you next week with another guest.